All right, so I am here with Rick Marshall, who is not only a theater teacher in the area and actor extraordinaire, but also my brother. I know. He is who I learned everything from when it comes to theater. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. No, it's definitely a good thing. Definitely a good thing. So we're going to be sitting down and talking with him today on our Theater Ovation vlog. So we're going to get started. Rick, thank you so much for being here.
It's my house, so it was easy for me to be
thank
here.
you for letting me be here. We have fun like this all the time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just get started.
I'm going to have my drama blanket with me. So.
It's okay. He's the reason I have to hold pillows. I don't know. It's a thing.
It's a mental thing.
It comfort. So how did you get started in theater?
I got started in theater when I was in high school, a little bit in junior high school, but mainly in high school. I got involved at Dobbins Bennett High School with the incredible Miss Nancy Pridemore, who was absolutely the queen of drama, and it was so great to work with her, not only with stage productions, but we also did what we call forensics, which was a competition drama where we go to high schools and compete and in different things like prose interpretation, duet acting, poetry interpretation, those types of things. And it was just like I was hooked, and I've been doing it ever since. So that's how I got started.
That's awesome. So you've been doing it for quite a while. Mm-hmm. I remember Rick when he was teaching at Dobbins Bennett in 1988 when you did The Wiz. That was actually one of the first shows I ever saw. Actually, it was the first show I ever saw.
Yes, I was 12.
Yes, he was 12. Very talented for his age. It was
yes,
insane.
Absolutely.
So, what is your favorite part of theater?
Gosh, a twofold on that answer. Number one, when I finally got into the side of teaching, I realized that drama was a great way to improve students' self-esteem and to improve their communication skills. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really sound like it's anything to do with acting, but it truly is. I find the kids that have the opportunity to be in drama in high school are just more self-confident and have better self-esteem. So that's one of the things that you can get out of drama that you don't necessarily think about. The second side of it is being able to step outside yourself and be something that you're not, or to experiment with different characters and elements of humanity that you may not have an opportunity to be able to do. Those are things that I see students and myself, I was experienced this as well. It helped me to grow in knowledge of myself as well as the capability of humankind, as it were. And so I enjoy those two aspects of it.
That's awesome. So, what are some, you've done a lot of shows, not just acting, but also directing and being in them. What are some of the shows that you've done, and can you narrow it down to a favorite or five?
I can, and as I talked to you just a few minutes ago before we began this, I think I need to break it up into acting and then directing. Oddly enough, that when I first got back into teaching, or when I got into teaching when I first went to Dobbins Bennett, I stopped my acting. So all of my acting experiences up to when I directed, it was kind of like you don't want to do in your spare time what you do in your full time.
Right.
So I haven't really done a lot of acting since I did directing. So previous to actually teaching, a couple of plays that popped in my mind that I was in that I really enjoyed was I got to play Teddy in Arsenic and Old Lace, which is the greatest character. You just pop in, you say something stupid, and you pop out. It's wonderful. And I got to be in a play called You Can't Take It With You, which later became a play that I really enjoyed directing. And I've done that several times. When you teach as long as I have, you get to recycle things. But the cool thing about You Can't Take It With You, which makes it fall on my favorite to direct list, is even though it's a great ensemble cast, about 16 characters, and they're large parts, and so you have be able to put 16 people on stage that have an integral part of the development of the story, which usually you don't have that, maybe 4 or 5 that are main characters, but there are 16 main characters in that play. And the cool thing about it is you can approach these characters from different perspectives.
Right.
And so every time I've directed it, the environment and the culture of that particular group of people was totally different. My grandpas have all been different.
Yeah.
My Alice's have all been different. My Eds have all been different. And my Boris Kalinkovs have all been different. And so I love that because it's kind of like a beautifully written palette that you paint with different colors, and it's such a cool play.
That's awesome.
Small cast directing one. I want to mention this because this one was probably one of my favorite experiences. Was I got the opportunity to do on a small in a black box theater, do a production of Almost Maine, which is such a beautifully written play, and it was such a great experience with that group of kids I did it with. That always pops to the top of the chart when I think about favorite plays to direct. So
that's awesome.
That's again big answer, small question. So.
Yeah, no, totally. That's exactly what I was looking for. So when it comes to theater, I know that you're planning on teaching for a very long time. I mean, you are 24.
True.
So
maybe they'll offer me early retirement somewhere around here in the next few years.
Well, what are your future plans?
We just hired last 2 years a teacher to work with me at Science Hill, and it really has energized the program as well as myself because I'm pretty much doing most of it myself. And having somebody there just to compadre whatever, but he has I feel so much more actual theatrical background than I do. Even though I've done so many plays, I've done for so long a time. He's had a lot more involvement from the acting side than I have, and so what I'm looking forward to in the next few years until I win the sweepstakes and get out of the way. Is to experiment with some things that I think that I've been kind of afraid to do on my own. And now that I have someone with some incredibly good skills, I'll mention his name, by the way, it's Hunter Graybill.
Yes.
And that looking forward to experimenting with some things that I've been kind of afraid to do because I was doing it all by myself.
Right.
And now sharing that experience, I'm excited to be able to take some of those leaps of faith that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to it too because that's exciting. Hunter is a really great guy.
Yes.
Definitely. And you guys...
Very skilled director too.
Very
skilled director, yeah.
Didn't he just did something, didn't he?
He did. We just finished. Tough for me to let go of things unless I really, really trust somebody. There's something flying around me. But I trust him so much that I pretty much turned over the fall production of 12 Angry Jurors, which was 12 Angry Men.
Yes.
And in fact, last spring, and I kept getting in his way, he directed Romeo You Idiot, which is a parody of Romeo and Juliet, which is a fabulously written play. Lots of fun to do.
Yeah.
And so now I feel so comfortable with that allowing him to run with things is so much easier now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's cool, and I just kind of go, okay, he's taking care of that, and it's out of my mind, and I can focus on other things.
That's great. That's great. So, dream team.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so too. I'm with you on that. So, wrapping it up just a little bit. So if you could give, as a theater teacher, as an actor, as seeing the many different sides of theater, if you could give any advice to someone who's wanting to get into theater, whatever the different aspect is, what is some sort of advice that you would give them coming into it?
I have to give this a lot to kids. So first of all, don't be afraid to try new things and to expand your abilities. I've had students go through and say, well, I just can't do dialects. Try it.
Yeah.
You have to. Because if you don't, someone's going to get that part because they tried it and they attempted it. So don't be afraid and to try those things. Number two, be realistic about your expectations. Great director at ETSU, Pat Cronin.
Oh, love him.
Is
Phenomenal.
He said something to me that he said the hardest thing he has with kids to teach them is you may not be the princess, or you may not be the best man,
Mm-hmm.
the lead actor,
Mm-hmm.
but you might be the best man's best friend, and some people make a really great career out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let your expectations of what you think you are limit where you can go.
Yeah.
Because careers are from everywhere.
Yeah.
And number 3, do it because you love it.
Mm.
Don't set in your mind that I do this because I want to make a living at it, because it's really difficult. It has very little to do sometimes with talent or hard work. It has to do with being in the right place at the right time with the right look and the right people around you, and you can't control that. There's nothing you can do to control that. So do it because you love it. There's a reason why people say, oh, you're an actor or an actress, oh, you're a waiter, you mean. Yeah, that's what they do to make money,
Mm-hmm.
but they do acting because they love it.
Yeah.
And then you're never disappointed, because
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter, because you're doing it because you love it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
those are the ones I give that advice all the time, because we'll have kids that go out and get really frustrated that things don't happen right away for them. And I said, are you still doing it because you love it? And they said, no, I got it in my mind that this was going to be my job.
Yeah.
I said, you can't.
Nope.
You gotta just keep pushing the button and having fun. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you've definitely touched and affected a lot of different students, because I've actually gotten to know a lot of people that were your students, former students. Some were current, and they all love Mr. Marshall, and you've had a definite impact on a lot of students in this area for sure over the years.
There's times I say to myself, my God, I get paid money for this. And then sometimes I say I don't get paid enough money for this.
Right.
But again, I love students. I love being involved with them, and that's been the key to teaching. That's why I tell anybody that teaches, you gotta love kids. If you love kids, the rest of it's gravy.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what people need when it comes to teachers, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, Rick, is there anything else you want to, as we wrap up, just add, or anything else you want to talk about?
No, I hate being videotaped, but
okay, great.
Thank you so much for putting me in this position.
Of course.
So, and that's what family does.
That's what little sisters are for.
That's right.
I love making things awkward.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you again, Rick, for doing this and for being at your house. And so
that was the easy part.
Absolutely. It was hard for me. I had to come from the other street over. But yes, so that's going to be it for this segment on the Theater Ovation. I will be back doing some more interviews, podcasts, blogs, all sorts of shenanigans. So just stay tuned, keep an eye out, and I'll see you soon.